Hi everyone, and welcome to this video where we're going to be walking through the Arpeggiator smart control and its functions using Native Instruments Komplete Kontrol mk2 keyboard. This is the techno project we'll be working with. Now that I've played a little bit of the project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute this ARP that we're working with now, use the rotary encoder to go down to the next ARP underneath it and then unmute this. And you can hear we've just got a standard sound with no arpeggiator on at the moment, so we just go shift and ARP to get into ARP mode, or shift and scale to get into scale mode, and then we can turn the ARP on by pressing it, and you can hear we now have an arpeggiated sequence. So you might already know about the swing. We also have the gate function, which is just going to elongate or shorten the note's decay. And then we also have the hold function, so I can take my hands off and it gives me more control to do what I want to do with both my hands. We can also reset the gate as well as change the rate using the buttons on the top or from the rotary encoder. If you owned the Mark I, you're already going to be aware of a lot of these functions, such as the sequence and the ones I've just talked through. But what we'll do for now is we're just going to play a single note and get that arpeggiating. So it's just a note repeat at the moment, but we can get that to do octaves, and we can see that's going up because we're in up ARP mode, but we can change that to down. So now it's going to do the octave below this C that I'm playing. What we can also do, if we turn that off, we can navigate to the second page and we can activate the inversions. So with a single note held, it's going to be pretty much the same as the octave, and it's also sensitive to the ARP mode. However, if we play a chord, so we'll go for a triad, we'll go for C, E and G, and we'll set this to hold, and now it's going to play us the inversions of the C, E and G as well. So this is different to the octave because it's playing the next C, the next E and then the next G before repeating, depending on how many inversions we set. What we can also do is we can make these notes repeat, so we'll play 3 of each note, and you can hear it's making its way down the keyboard now, 3 notes at a time. Next we have the offset parameter, and we can think of our sequence as one giant loop, and we can use the offset button to either shift our sequence forward or back, so it's going to start on the 2nd, 3rd or 4th note of the sequence. We can set retrigger to shorten the loop of our sequence, so it's only going to retrigger on this first note and it won't play any other notes in the sequence. And then we can lengthen this, and because we've got 3 repeats, we're not going to hear another note until we go past 3 repeats. So now it's retriggering on every 4th note, and we can use this to create some pretty interesting sort of polyrhythms and patterns. So let's put that with the beat now. And of course, because we've got hold engaged, we've got both our hands free to mess around with the retrigger, offset and repeat, and also the plugin settings, and maybe add some automation into this loop. We're then free to add any modulation using the touch strip or the mod and pitch bend wheels. If I just stop that there, the next thing I want to show you, if we just go back into ARP mode and take the hold off. So now that that's been turned off, what I'm going to do is just open up into scale mode so we can see what's going on, turn scale on, and we can now set whatever scale mode or temperament we want to use, and it's going to arpeggiate not only through the scale, but through the actual chord or harmonizer as well. So just to demonstrate how this works, I'm going to go back into arpeggiator mode, and I'm going to turn off all of the offset, the inversion, retrigger and repeat settings. And then it's just a completely standard 16-note arpeggiator on a single note. And now we can add a harmony by turning on the chord mode, and we'll just put this to a 7th. And you can see we're now getting a full chord arpeggiation using just a single finger to activate one note. And then we can put this into chord mode as well, so we now have a set of chords mapped across the keys. We can also control the position. In this case, I'll just keep it in root mode. We'll go back into ARP and we're going to put the hold back on, and then we can literally just jam away, press random keys, and we know we're going to stay within the scale and it's going to sound harmonically pleasing. And now that we've got our hands free, we can just dial away these different arpeggiator and plugin settings until we get something that sounds nice. And then once we've got something we like, we can just record it straight in, either to the arrangement or to the session view. And now we're just going to experiment with the filter cutoff and maybe a few other controls. And of course, if at any stage I decide I get bored of this instrument, I could either fade it out using the mixer level, or I could just fade it out here using the plugin controls or the filter cutoff straight from the keyboard. Then I can go to my other track or my other instrument, unmute it, and I can just bring that back in and can get more of an aggressive acid vibe to this track.